I was watching Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr.'s memorial service. I don't quite understand why anyone would think hosting the Clintons in the front row and have Bill Clinton speaking at Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr.'s memorial. I do not care what he has done. I do not care his relationship with Reverend Jackson. As a community, it is going to take a community to truly protect the innocent, to truly protect our children, to truly protect people who are vulnerable to abuse. And when you have people like the Clintons who are clearly do not follow a high moral code and have countless victims in their back seat, you have, what's that dude's name? P. Diddy, P. Puffy, Sean Combs, Brush, whatever the heck his name is. When you have a man who has thousands of victims and he had all these people around him enabling this behavior, and you don't hold that person accountable. When you have R. Kelly, this man was out on the streets wilding out for decades. Nope, not a few years, decades. I was in high school in Chicago, Illinois. I would hear about R. Kelly.
Yes, for the past few days, we have talked about Obama. There is this lady I saw. Someone sent this video to me, and it is very important. I show you this clip. This lady is going off on Clinton. Like, why would they allow him to even be there? You saw what Democrat did. Obama, Biden, Kamala. They just decided to use the venue as a political campaign.
The greatest threat to the United States of America is not what people think. This message is for former President Barack Obama. It seems like at the services, you were focused on letting people know that you were going to be the next leader of Black America. And I'm asking you kindly to please leave us alone. Good morning. This is P. Ray, and I want to say happy Monday. I am here because I attended Reverend Jackson's funeral, and I want to give my condolences to the Jackson family and say thank you to Reverend Jackson for everything that you've done for our people nationally and here in the great city of Chicago. This message is for former President Barack Obama. It seems like at the services, you were focused on letting people know that you were going to be the next leader of Black America. And I'm asking you kindly to please leave us alone. We don't need another leader. You had 8 years to do what you needed to do for us, and we lost 70% of our collective wealth. The only thing that we got from the Obama administration was a bunch of vacant lots that are now driving up our property taxes and exacerbating flooding issues. We want to be able to create our own leadership. People who are my age voted for you as teenagers and young adults, and we watched our communities crumble for 8 years. We don't have 8 more years for you. So please leave the plight of Black Chicago alone and let us heal from the damage that you've already inflicted on us. Shout out to former Congressman Jesse Jackson Jr. for calling out the political grandstanding that took place at his father's funeral. I, too, was not impressed because Reverend Jackson deserved more than for his funeral to be turned into a DNC rally, the same group of people that is actively hurting the city of Chicago, specifically the Black community. Vote red instead, and I hope to see you at the polls next Tuesday.
If you host the devil, then accept the chaos in your house. Period. Who cares how much money they have? There were countless situations in I'm 45 years old. There have been countless experiences in my life where I've stood in front of a predator. He had a title, she had money, she had power and influence. I did not sell my soul. I could not sell my soul. I declined. No, I am not selling my soul. I'm standing. I'm taking a stand. The light the light, the light. God.
We have seen this over and over, how Democrats use black people for their political gains, and it is not stopping anytime soon. We just witnessed what Obama, Biden, Kamala, what they did. It didn't go well with some people. Yeah. If you see I take up 2-3 days to report on a topic, that's to tell you how people are faring on the street. Most of the videos I reacted, share on this platform was just to enlighten people on what is going on. If I don't show you, you will not see from the mainstream media. Check if you see them reporting how people are reacting to these videos. Because of the midterm approaching, Obama thought this is the best strategy for them to start, energizing their base. But they did it wrongly, not in a funeral. This has actually caused a lot of problem into this party.
You're hosting predators, known predators. Make this make sense. It makes no sense. It is psychotic. It is genuinely crazy, crazy talk. When you allow the devil in your home, when you greet the devil in your place of worship, you greet the chaos that comes with it. There will always be chaos when, as a community, we do not stand against press. As long as we're complicit, as press run wild and create chaos, there's going to continue to be chaos.
They still had to do what Democrats do. They made it political at Reverend Jesse Jackson's funeral. And I'm glad he's calling it out.
Each day we wake up to some new assault on our democratic institutions.
Because see, when the average Joe Schmo like us point it out and say, hey, y'all don't see that? Oh, we're doing something wrong. We're haters. We're lunatics. We're crazy. What was the reason that y'all would stand up at this man's funeral and not talk about his life, his legacy?
What is funny about this whole thing is just the fact that Kamala Harris is still doing the same thing. I thought maybe Kamala Harris will come in now and maybe try to be a different kind of person. Maybe learn from her past mistakes during the campaign period. If you look at what she is still doing, the way she speaks, the way she changes tone, the kind of same phrases, she is supposed to rebrand like different phrases. This is just what I noticed throughout just looking at Biden. Everyone knew that, what he's doing. Maybe he doesn't even understand what was happening. Maybe he's reading on the script what his team gave him, things like that. As of Obama, it's not something strange. Obama is fond of that. So when I saw his own, at some point, I begin to ask myself, like, what is all this? You hijack a funeral to pass your own political messages. After they have taught you at the beginning, please don't use this venue for your political messages. If that man didn't even mention this, I would say no, maybe they never knew that they are not supposed to do that. It is a problem to a lot of people. Yeah, because they are complaining. They are putting out videos upon clips about this whole situation. So when I see people say, oh, why are Republicans taking this to another new level, reacting? We should react. Yeah, past history. That is what I expected. But at the end of the day, everyone is stuck with this.
Set back to the idea of an expertise denigrated while
the trap that Trump laid in the State of the Union address. And the Democrats didn't stand. I mean, obviously, it's a deliberate trap, because they always played these games of Simon Says there at the State of the Union.
Well, I think you and I agree on this is all
through to get here. Trump, go Trump! Hey Murphy, you're a scumbag. Thanks, man.
Our chamber is chanting USA. This is a sick person. In the first lady.
I was there, and it was as horrific as I thought it would be.
She wasn't the only one. Look at SOT 35, CNN's Abby Phillip.
But he utilized almost like these game show type moments where you're seeing awards being presented.
They're just so disgusting.
Of course, he chose who did not vote in his favor and did not shake her hand there.
Here's the video. He shook everyone's hand. Everyone. There's the Chief Justice. All of them got their hands shaken to the point where they had to come back on the air and say this in SOT 33.
But we should point out as he walks in, he's pretty close to the justices again as he comes down on the floor, that he did shake their hands there this evening.
Moment. No, that's not what happened at all.
Democrats to stand for the slain passenger in North. Our first priority is Americans rather than illegal on either of those two. I think they took his bait.
Can take away from the joyous moment as all Americans. And why are they putting a medal?
Oh, he's already under scrutiny for 1,000 reasons. Viral Patel posted this on X.
Job.
I get suspicious when any
person's home. It's very easy to.
This is for the people in the United States who are terrorized and scared today.
The country's in such emotional turmoil.
And Republicans on both sides. You're
so amazing. And wasn't it so great?
When it can be hard to hope.
Hey, girl.
In a time when it can be hard to hope. Each day we wake up.